Hi, it's Bailey again. This is my current event article video response. My article I chose is when we eat or don't eat may be critical for our health. So, a growing body of research suggests that our bodies function optimally when we align our eating patterns with our circadian rhythm, which is the innate 24-hour cycle that our bodies go through when we wake up and when we go to bed. Some studies have actually showed that chronically disrupting this rhythm, such as eating late night meals or having midnight snacks, can actually be the recipe for weight gain and metabolic troubles. So, what is the circadian system or rhythm? The Circadian Code is a book that was written by Dr. Panda. He is a professor at the Salkin Institute and is an expert on the circadian rhythm research. Dr. Panda actually argues that people can improve their metabolic health when they eat meals daily between 8 to 10, like an 8 to 10 hour window. There's a thing called early time restriction feeding, which is between that period of 8 and 10 hours. That stems from the idea that the human metabolism follows a daily rhythm that involve our hormones, enzymes, our digestive system that's all primed to take in food both morning and afternoon and evening. Actually, an average person eats over a 15-hour period of time each day. And that can conflict with our biological rhythms. The human body has a master clock, which is the brain. It's the center of everything. There's one piece of the brain called the hypothalamus, which is the innermost clock of your human body. It actually governs your sleep-wake cycle in the response of light exposure. So, for example, during the day, the pancreas actually increases its production of insulin, which controls blood sugar levels, and then actually slows down at night. It doesn't produce as much insulin than it usually does. Another example is that the gut has its own clock too. The gut actually regulates the daily ebbs and flows of enzymes that are used to absorb nutrition and the removal of waste from our body. Dr. Courtney Peterson, she's an assistant professor in the Department of Nutritional Science at the University of Alabama, says that there's evidence that suggests that consuming the bulk of our food during a day is in the middle of our day is actually better for your health. She suggests that we burn more calories and digest food more efficiently during the mornings. And at night, because of the lack of light, actually promotes the brain to release melatonin, which kind of slows down the body's clocks and tells them, okay, it's time to go to bed. That's why we get that tired feeling, because it's preparing our body for sleep. But eating late at night or doing midnight snacks just before you go to bed actually sends conflicting signals to the clocks in our body that thinks that it's still daytime. So if it's 11:30, 11 o'clock, and you're getting ready to go to bed and you have a snack, it tells your organ systems, like it gives them the idea that it's not nighttime, that it's actually still the daytime. And if you're constantly eating at these times where you're not getting bright light exposure, so anytime not during the actual day, then your clocks get out of sync. And they're easily out of sync. And eating at the wrong time doesn't just throw them out of sync, but it puts a lot of strain on our organs that are involved in the digestion of food. They put strain on them because it's forcing them to work when they're programmed to be dormant, which actually increases our risk of diseases. Like, there's a study that showed that nighttime workers working late night shifts, that kind of thing, being forced to stay up longer than we should, eating late night meals are actually more linked to obesity, diabetes, even some cancers, heart disease. There is one experiment that scientists found that after assigning healthy adults to a delay of their bedtimes and waking up later than they normally do for about 10 days, actually threw their rhythms out of cycle, which raised their blood pressure, impaired insulin and blood sugar control, which can actually be very harmful for the body. Another study showed that forcing people to stay up late just a few nights in a row actually resulted in quick weight gain and a reduced insulin sensitivity. So, out of all this, you want to think about when you're eating and why you're eating at this time. So, yeah, again, Dr. Courtney Peterson, she claims that eat your breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a piper. So your breakfast, you've always been told that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and it really is. Breakfast is where you're eating the bulk of your food in a day, and that's why it's so important. So, remember, eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a piper.